We're going to showcase a few of the vendors that we saw there that were a little bit outside of what you'd kind of normally expect, but that we absolutely loved and we thought were terrific. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the first one, but anybody else who's here can feel free to just jump in. Jabra was there, and if you knew Jabra at all from before, they are mostly building Bluetooth phone products, you know, the little thing you put in your ear and you can talk on the phone, wireless thing. So Jabra had a great booth, and this definitely speaks to me about the evolving workplace in that more and more companies are moving toward these open work plans. And at the show, Jabra announced a brand new line of headphone products specifically designed for this kind of new forward-thinking workplace where people are in much smaller areas. They're working very closely with coworkers, and they definitely have a need for a great set of headphones that have noise canceling, not just optimized for airplane noise, but optimized for offices. And we all know that, you know, millennials all come into the workplace with their Beats headphones and these other, you know, big headphones. We've got a set sitting on the table today right now. Everybody brings those to the office. Yeah, and so basically, this is a way that you can have, you know, they have a product for employees where, you know, your employees are just as comfortable listening to music on these as they are taking a conference call. And so I love that. That, to me, was really amazing and forward-thinking. And I honestly want to buy a set for every one of our employees. I think it was really cool.
They were priced out of what, $299 or $399?
Top price for the flagship set, which had active noise canceling. They were a full coverage of the ear. They had a flip down mic that automatically mutes when you flip it up. And my favorite feature, they had a little pod that was a controller with the volume that had a do not disturb button. So when you press that button, a light comes on in the headphones to let other coworkers know that they should not mess with you right then. that flagship product was $300, which I think was like their retail on it.
Yeah. But they were comfortable.
Amazingly comfortable. Yeah, it was terrific. So not crazy expensive, and I thought they were pretty attractive too. It didn't look crazy, doesn't look like Beats exactly, but it didn't look super nerdy either. So I thought it was a great product.
I think before you switch. So, and then as we're walking the floor, you know, there's Oracle, there's IBM, there's SAP, there's tech, there are geeks left and right. And you turn the corner, and what do you come to find at an HR tech conference? Move, a print provider. And you're kind of like, whoa, I went down the next aisle, I hit 1983. How can that be? But Moo has taken an entire technology platform. In the old days, it was like, okay, I need to get some cards, or I need something for a college event, and I've got to send it off to the agency, and you know the agency's going to do this, and it's going to take them 2 weeks, and it's going to be. Moo basically has automated this quick print, event-based, fun, hip card kind of product line, and has turned print back into a technology play to the point where it's almost cool now to go to some of these events with print products, you know? And so I just think it was an interesting kind of turn of events, something you just don't expect to see. It was completely different compared to all the other 10 by 10 booths that were out there.
Yeah, and what was neat about it also is they used technology to turn, you know, what used to be 2 weeks of, you know, turnaround for business cards into something where you could create something custom and have it literally in 24 hours. They would print it on demand, ship it overnight, and you could have it there the next day for an event or for a new employee.
And each card in the pack could have a different image.
Right, exactly, yeah. Which you couldn't have done with the old printing technology. But now the print on demand works that every single card could be different. Right, you could send them all these different images. It was really, really amazing to me. And you combine that with the neat shapes and sizes and fun things that they had. Actually, this slide doesn't even do justice to all of the little name tag stickers. Right. Other kinds of stickers and other things they had. They had a neat product line, which I think would be really fun to use. And for anybody who's a recruiter, especially if you're hitting, say, college campuses, it would be amazing to be able to just get something printed that was very custom, that spoke kind of right to the audience you were hitting, have that the night before. And the cost of these was really inexpensive. You weren't looking at $1,000 to get something done. You might be looking at $100. Right. So yeah, that was pretty amazing.
And so Wellbe was one that I thought was pretty interesting. Wellbe Solutions is an employee health and well-being company that they create customized and services and dashboards in efforts to reduce healthcare costs at an organization and gamify employees' fitness by utilizing their own employee population's fitness devices. Pretty interesting. So if all of your employees, you know your group has Fitbits, and this would create a dashboard where you can monitor how many steps your employees are taking and at an aggregate and see if you make different decisions. You know, there's some talk that says that sales meetings are more productive if everybody's standing, or regular meetings are more productive if everybody's standing versus sitting meetings. They're faster, and you come to solutions quicker. So that's some of the work that they are putting together. It's pretty interesting, a little creepy. It's a little Big Brother, but we'll see where that goes. It's very cool. I was very impressed with their platform.
I think people are willing to share information about their own selves, like what you might consider personal information when it's gamified, right?
Yep.
They want to win a game or there's some kind of contest. So I think that people will really gravitate towards it.
The slippery slope I see on that, though, is the personal health information.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you're collecting blood pressure at the same time and you find out that...
And you don't have a contest who has the lowest blood pressure.
Exactly. Half your employees are about ready to have
But
a
how many
cardiac
steps
arrest.
you're taking, I don't think that's covered under HIPAA yet, right?
Not yet, but we'll get there.
Well, what I've seen with other companies who are doing this, I don't know about Wellbe in particular, but I'm pretty sure that they know that there's like some sensitivity around the data that they collect. So what they'll typically do is roll it up into some points that aren't directly tied to the number of steps you took or blood pressure or anything they're actually measuring, but they would kind of roll up the result of that into points, and the employer would only actually get to see the point count, and the points were what was gamified, not the actual, like, they're not like looking for who has the lowest blood pressure or anything like that. It was these points that were somewhat kind of fictitious, but they were based on things that you could, do, right, to compete. But that's great. And even connected with this was at the Oracle booth, they were actually giving away Fitbits, right? Like, so it kind of just, speaks to this whole idea that, employers are kind of getting more and more involved in health and well-being for employees, and they're using technology to do that. And I thought that was like a really great, this is a really great way to connect it together.